Mga kababayan, habang pinag-aaralan natin ang history ng ating bansa mula sa panahon ni President Marcos hanggang sa panahon ni Cory Aquino, ay hindi natin maikakaila ang isang napakalaking agwat ng pagkakaiba nila sa kanilang pamumuno sa ating bansa. Sa gabing ito ang ating tanong: naniniwala ba kayo na si Cory Aquino ay Saint of Democracy? Kung hindi ay pindutin ang like, at kung oo naman ay pindutin ninyo ang heart. Muling pagbasa-basa ko ng State of the Nation Address ni Pangulong Marcos at Pangulong Aquino dahil nga sa hindi naabutan ng ating kamalayan ang kanilang panahon ay nagpatuloy tayo sa pagsaliksik. Bilang isang Pilipino na may karapatang alamin ang nakaraan, ay tinuntun natin at inalam kung ano ang nilalaman ng First Executive Order ni Pangulong Cory Aquino, at ito ang ating natagpuan o ay mababasa natin sa officialgazette.gov.ph. Ito po ang nilalaman ng kanyang kauna-unahang Executive Order. Executive Order number 1, 1986, signed on February 28, 1986. Malacanang, Manila, by the President of the Philippines. Executive Order number 1, creating the Presidential Commission on Good Government. Vast resources of the government have been amassed by former President Ferdinand E. Marcos, his immediate family, relatives, and close associates both here and abroad. There is an urgent need to recover all ill-gotten wealth. Now therefore, I, Corazon C. Aquino, President of the Philippines, do hereby order: Section 1. There is hereby created a commission to be known as the Presidential Commission on Good Government, composed of Minister Jovido R. Salonga as Chairman, Mr. Ramon Diaz, Mr. Pedro L. Yap, Mr. Raul Daza, and Ms. Mary Concepcion Bautista as Commissioners. Section 2. The Commission shall be charged with the task of assisting the President in regard to the following matters: the recovery of all ill-gotten wealth accumulated by the former President Ferdinand E. Marcos, his immediate family, relatives, subordinates, and close associates, whether located in the Philippines or abroad, including the takeover or sequestration of all business enterprises and entities owned or controlled by them during his administration, directly or through nominees, by taking undue advantage of their public office and or using their powers, authority, influence, connections, or relationships. The investigation of such cases of graft and corruption as the President may assign to the Commission from time to time. The adoption of safeguards to ensure that the above practices shall not be repeated in any manner under the new government, and the institution of adequate measures to prevent the occurrence of corruption. Section 3. The Commission shall have the power and authority: A. To conduct investigation as may be necessary in order to accomplish and carry out the purposes of this order. To sequester or place or cause to be placed under its control or possession any building or office wherein any ill-gotten wealth or properties may be found, and any records pertaining thereto, in order to prevent their destruction, concealment, or disappearance which would frustrate or hamper the investigation or otherwise prevent the Commission from accomplishing its task. C. To provisionally take over in the public interest or to prevent its disposal or dissipation, business enterprises and properties taken over by the government of the Marcos administration or by entities or persons close to former President Marcos, until the transactions leading to such acquisition by the latter can be disposed of by the appropriate authorities. D. To enjoin or restrain any actual or threatened commission of acts by any person or entity that may render moot and academic, or frustrate or otherwise make ineffectual the efforts of the Commission to carry out its tasks under this order. E. To administer oaths and issue subpoenas requiring the attendance and testimony of witnesses and or the production of such books, papers, contracts, records, statement of accounts, and other documents as may be material to the investigation conducted by the Commission. F. To hold any person in direct or indirect contempt and impose the appropriate penalties following the same procedures and penalties provided in the rules of court. G. To seek and secure the assistance of any office, agency, or instrumentality of the government. To promulgate such rules and regulations as may be necessary to carry out the purposes of this order. Section 4A. No civil action shall lie against the Commission or any member thereof for anything done or omitted in the discharge of the task contemplated by this order. B. No member or staff of the Commission shall be required to testify or produce evidence in any judicial, legislative, or administrative proceeding concerning matters within its official cognizance. Section 5. It is hereby directed that, subject to the availability of funds, the amount of 50 million pesos or so much thereof as may be needed to carry out the purposes of this order be set aside out of the funds of the National Treasury and made available for expenditure by the Commission. Section 6. This executive order shall take effect immediately. Done in the city of Manila, this 28th day of February in the year of our Lord 1986. Corazon C. Aquino, President of the Philippines. Authority of the President. Joker P. Arroyo, Executive Secretary. Source: Presidential Management Staff. Office of the President of the Philippines, 1986. Executive Order Number 12170, Manila. Presidential Management Staff. Mga kababayan, nagtagumpay ba si Cory sa kanyang first executive order? Hindi naman lingid sa ating kalaman na madami sa mga kasong naisampa sa mga Marcos ay na-dismiss at ito naman ay suportado ng facts na hindi maaaring sabihin ng Verifiles at Rappler na fake news. Muli, mga kababayan, magandang araw sa inyong lahat. Ito ang inyong lingkod, Viral Philippines.